welcome to another edition of AAN News. I'm Lily Kim. South Korean President Roh Moo-hyun met with leaders of Australia and Indonesia last week. The president signed a number of joint agreements to reinforce diplomatic ties and economic cooperation. AAN talked with Chicago's Indonesian consulate on the president's visit.
The South Korean leader met with Australian Prime Minister John Howard last Wednesday. But 2 days before that, President Roh met with Indonesia's leader. A meeting that carried a lot of hope between the two countries, especially in bringing North Korea back to six-party talks.
We have a good relation also with North Korea as well as with South Korea. We are the go-between on this very important matter.
President Roh also signed a memorandum of agreement on corruption elimination and peaceful use of nuclear energy.
We are very different than years before. And we are hoping that we will have a better relation again with South Korea, because South Korea is very important for Indonesia.
Important because South Korea employed over 600,000 Indonesians.
On trade volume between the two countries, we have 10 billion US dollar in last year.
A 40% increase in just the past 2 years. President Roh is slated to travel to the Philippines for the annual Asian Plus 3 Summit. Ingrid Ganada, AAN News.
Asian organized crime is on the rise. The Chinese mafia, known as the Triads, are thriving in Canada. The Asian Post says Canada has become a gateway for Chinese criminal activity that's been directed into the U.S., particularly for drug dealing, credit card fraud, and software piracy. The Triads usually prey on their own by using fear, intimidation, and physical violence. Human trafficking is one of their biggest moneymakers. According to sources, per year, 800 are brought illegally into Canada and another 2,000 into the U.S. Victims are pressed into forced labor, with most women and children for sexual exploitation. The Triads are most active in Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, and Toronto, and are considered the world's largest criminal society. Pearl Harbor survivors met for their last time last Thursday. Nearly 500 from across the nation exchanged their smiles, saluted their fallen friends, and said what would be their final farewell. With their numbers quickly dwindling, Pearl Harbor survivors are not counting on their 70th reunion. They've been meeting in Pearl Harbor every 5 years for the last 40 years, and most of them are in their 80s and 90s. The Pearl Harbor attack happened 65 years ago, damaging 21 ships, over 300 aircrafts, killing almost 2,500 and wounding another 1,200. Most people didn't realize it, but at this last reunion, they were witnessing another day of history. Despite the harsh cold last week, thousands of kind-hearted bikers roared through the streets of Chicago as part of the annual Toys for Tots motorcycle parade. Every year, the bikers collect toys for the underprivileged children who might not otherwise get a gift for Christmas. And every year on the first Sunday of December, they line up for the parade and head to the drop-off centers. Rain or shine, cold or freezing cold, they come. And even if you didn't have a bike, you didn't have to get on one to get in on the fun. Organizers got approval from the city for locals to drive along in the parade. This was Chicago's 29th Toys for Tots annual parade. 'Tis the season to be jolly and to watch your back. The holidays are here, and Steelers are looking for their own five-finger discount. They're on the trains and in your neighborhoods. It's Christmas time, and these guys are looking for their Christmas steal.
We had a big robbery that occurred by the Chinatown Hotel. We had two jewelers, one from New York, one from Hong Kong. They were robbed by 4 male blacks. They hit him over the head with something, some kind of object. Knocked the guy unconscious. Took the two backpacks. One backpack had $40,000 worth of jewelry. The other one had $80,000 worth of jewelry.
Even early in the morning, two people sitting in the train, and inside the train, he produced a handgun, a silver handgun, and he told the victim that, "I'm not afraid to use this thing."
Also, I had another robbery that occurred in Chinatown Square. They went into her pockets, and she had $250 and took her cell phone.
And these robbers even come to your homes.
She claimed, okay, that's from the report. She claimed that she lost $12,000 in U.S. cash, in cash, $18,000 jewelry, $2,300 worth of clothing. So she lost about what, good old $30,000, $40,000 just for one burglary. It's like normally I don't have that much report. This is all burglary involving Chinese or Asian neighborhood in our side for last month.
We always say Christmas is coming, and it goes crazy.
And it's not just happening in Chinatown. From the south side, north side, and to the west side. From early morning, high noon, and late evening, these criminals are out there, and police are urging everyone to beware.
I still seeing people wear expensive jewelry, showing off the earring, the bling blings on the train. That is not cool, you know, because you're not going anywhere. You know that you're going to somewhere you don't know. Make sure you know the surrounding.
There's plenty of ways to prevent yourself from becoming a victim. Many of the home robberies occurred while victims were out at work.
If you know that you are not at home all the time, like working, get some kind of security system. Maybe get a dog.
And don't leave so many of your valuables at home.
There's no reason why $30,000 worth of jewelry is at your house. It should be in the safety deposit box somewhere.
Though there are more recent cases of pickpocketing, purse snatchings, and robberies, since last year the numbers have gone down. 28% in the 9th district and 42% in the 21st. But police say they still want everyone to pay attention and to be more careful. You can't see it, smell it, or taste it, but it can kill you. Approximately 300 people die each year from this silent killer. And under new Illinois law, carbon monoxide detectors are mandatory in all buildings. Fire departments are providing detectors for those who cannot afford them. However, they are available in most home improvement stores for about $20 to $50. For more information about carbon monoxide and this new law, log on to www.state.il.us/OSMF. One of Chicago's top engineering schools is on a noble mission. Last week, the Illinois Institute of Technology said they want to give away free education. Chicago public school graduates could get a full scholarship, but under one condition. Our Ingrid Yanada has more.
Chicago Public High School graduates of 2007 gets the special chance to attend one of America's top colleges for free. But it won't be easy. Students must meet the school's academic standard for admission and a family income no more than $40,000 a year.
What we're looking to do is to support in greater ways extraordinary students from Chicago Public Schools who've done well all of their academic career and are ready for a place like IIT, but who, for want of circumstances or family income, do not always have the same means or resources.
IIT promised to pay any remaining costs left over after federal, state, and private scholarship money. The plan is to provide this grant every year starting next fall.
Our intention is that this would be an ongoing program, an ongoing commitment to the Chicago Public Schools.
The campus located on Chicago's south side offers degrees in business, engineering, architecture, and psychology.
One of our long-term goals is to help Arnie Duncan and the mayor enroll greater numbers of Chicago Public School students, not only in colleges and universities, but to help them graduate.
Students eligible for this grant should pay attention to admission application deadlines that may be as early as January 15. The school expects around 100 students will get the scholarship valued at $23,000 a year. From IIT, Ingrid Yanada, AAN News.
Still to come, find out what Hollywood star wants to be a Bollywood star. Discover how Korean drama brings thousands together and see how this Japanese manufacturer is climbing to the top. All up next on AAN. For the 11th consecutive year, Ford Motor Company declined in the U.S. market share, and on top is Toyota. Ford reported a 10% decrease in November, while Toyota posted a 16% increase since last year. More disappointing and surprising, Daimler Chrysler outsold Ford Motors. The world's largest automaker, GM's future is looking grim. AAN went to one local Toyota dealership to see why they're doing so well. America's 3 best-selling vehicles are pickups, but the world's second largest automaker, Toyota, is paying attention to what works for the American public.
Toyota has 8 different SUVs.
Nowadays, at a dealer showcase, you'll find row after row of SUVs, minivans, and monster pickup trucks. Japanese car makers see the American love of size and cargo utility and is preparing to assault the American pickup market with their larger overhauled versions.
Tacoma's already the #1 selling small pickup.
And a totally redesigned Tundra.
They're redesigning it in 2007. It's going to be 9 inches longer. It's going to be wider. It's going to be in the class of a half-ton, but it almost is going to be characterized as a 3/4 ton.
Though Ford and Chevy are the #1 truck sellers, Toyota is going after their buyers.
Once the pickup, unleashes, people see what it is. We get it out there because we're going to have to show them exactly what it's all about, and then really turn some of the buyers, the traditional truck buyers, into Japanese and foreign truck buyers.
Toyota's newest project, the FJ Cruiser.
One of the things that Toyota does, and with the Japanese build, is they really specify. They do a lot of market research. They really specify, pay attention to special details.
Sales of Toyota's RAV4 had their best November ever, surging over 150%. SUVs, the oversized road hogs of suburban America, have become so popular that there are almost 25 million of them on the nation's road. They're growing at a phenomenal rate, and that's not including the recreational pickup trucks and monster trucks. Gasoline consumption is rising dramatically in the U.S., and Toyota is developing 10 new hybrids. The Toyota Highlander is just one. There's many preconceptions of hybrids, such as they accelerate like a rusty bike, don't look like real cars, and have to be plugged in.
One of the nice things about the hybrid synergy drive that Toyota offers is that you don't have to plug it into the wall. It's not like an electric car. It uses this deceleration and its acceleration to recharge itself. As far as if you start the car's not on, it'll automatically charge itself. When it has plenty of power there. It uses the gas for your acceleration, and then it'll automatically switch over to electronic mode when you're just kind of cruising around. Upon deceleration, it's got the electronic motor that regenerates itself. It uses the engine's back drive to recharge the battery, and it goes back and forth.
Toyota plans to sell 30% more hybrid vehicles for 2007, and sales manager Matt Sokol has strong predictions for the Japanese automaker.
Just hands down, Japanese, it is, they're going to rule the world. They're car manufacturers, the way they put in the quality, the way they do the research, everything, they're really going to take over the market. We're seeing 2010, 2011, they're going to be the #1 manufacturer in the world, not just America, in the world.
Researchers in Vietnam found an endangered turtle. While some of these turtles are found in markets and pet shops, it was the first time one was caught in the wild in 65 years. The Vietnamese pond turtle is listed as one of the world's top 25 endangered turtle species. Their findings could boost the country's effort to protect the rare reptile from hunters and collectors. Korean drama and soap operas are quite popular, but what's unknown, the fact that these dramas attract a unique bunch that's growing. Thousands joined the Chicago Korean drama fan club, and most of them aren't even Korean. AAN's Ingrid Yanada has more on the story.
It began out of simple curiosity.
I was just running the channels with the remote. I guess guys do that a lot.
Next thing this pastor knew was,
I'm hooked. I'll be watching. Every time there's one on, I'll be watching it.
his story echoes that of many Korean drama fans in Chicago, brought together through this website. The fans had met a couple times before, and every gathering always surprised someone new to the group.
We've had some Korean history drama parties here, and we've had 25, 30 people, and all of them are American. And I was surprised.
I have a Korean-American friend who's actually came to the last gathering here at Free Will Baptist, and he was just kind of blown away by like all these people who are watching Korean dramas and they aren't Korean and they aren't like his grandmother's age. So I think that sort of just sort of flabbergasted him.
Paulus had been a fan for 11 years. Like him, Pastor Dave was addicted to historical dramas like Yi Shun-shin. KBC-TV is the only station in Chicago to broadcast these Korean dramas. Now, the two look back to a time after Yi Shun-shin ended, when there were no Korean historical dramas for one whole year.
It's like almost like a drug addiction where you're going through withdrawals and you're expecting something, you want to have something there, but it's not theirs.
We teased each other that we had to go for counseling, and we were going through withdrawal, like if you stop smoking or something, and there's a lot of excitement with Dae-jo Young.
Dae-jo Young is KBC's latest historical drama, broadcasted every Monday and Tuesday at 8 p.m. And if Pastor Dave's schedule didn't allow him to watch the drama...
Oh, I tape it. I tape it. I've taped every episode of Seoul 1945.
This website has around 1,800 registered users from Chicago and even as far away as Korea. Out of those 1,800, around 300 of them are addicted to Korean historical dramas like Dae-jo Young. And here's a very good reason why.
Basically, a lot of the things that go on, at least in the dramas, I can just totally relate to in terms of office politics and just how the world is today. And then also just for me, too, as a Christian, there's a lot of stuff that's on TV that's really... Even though there's a lot of good stuff on it, that I just can't watch it because of the sex in it.
The Chicago Korean Drama Fan Club met this past Sunday, and AAN will bring you complete coverage of the gathering next week. Ingrid Yanada, AAN News.
The actor known as one of the most sexiest men alive wants to be part of India's movie business. George Clooney said he'd like to act in Bollywood. The 45-year-old actor said he's a fan of the Hindi film industry and is impressed with their music. The Oscar-winning actor is in a new movie, The Good German, that will be released in India next year. Is kissing a crime? Well, it could be if you're a Bollywood actor. Two Indian celebrities had to go to court because of one kiss. The movie Doom II showed a kissing scene, and now one lawyer is suing the actors for obscenity. Our Ingrid Yanada talked to several Bollywood fans in Chicago to see whether this movie should be doomed for life.
It's the first time Indian heartthrob Hrithik Roshan played with former Miss Universe Aishwarya Rai. This is also the first time in Indian film history that such a case is brought to court. The lawyer in India who considered the kissing sequence to lower Indian women's dignity now wants the court to punish the actors. Here's what the Bollywood faithful in Chicago had to say.
I don't mind if people doing kissing because this is the future. And this is the natural, like a husband-wife does, just like a boyfriend-girlfriend. So it's nothing wrong with if they're kissing in the scene.
This woman said Indian movies need a reality check.
To me, movie should represent the life. In real life you do kiss, but I don't want vulgar thing. Sometimes they dance here on the sky, on the mountain, here and there. That's not real life.
Still, others said kissing is not okay.
Why? There's a reason why sometimes we watching movie with kids. This is not good for us, okay? I cannot feel good.
Is it acceptable, or do you also think it's not very
No,
good?
this is not acceptable.
But there's a higher stake in this case. If the court says it's okay for them to kiss, this can open the way for Indian film companies to produce more movies with smooching scenes. Ingrid Yanada, AAN News.
Trade talks are likely to stall as South Korea rejected another shipment of U.S. beef. This is the third consecutive rejection, citing findings of bone fragments in the meat. The country is refusing U.S. beef for not passing quarantine standards that aim to prevent mad cow disease from entering the country. Korea was once the third largest consumer of beef from the U.S. Korean authorities claim they are simply adhering to the international standards. He's been around Chicago for 15 years with a dedication to introduce contemporary works by Asian artists. We now go to the Anju Bay Gallery. Settled underneath the L tracks in the heart of River North resides the Anju Bay Gallery. For 15 years, this art director has successfully established recognition from the unfamiliar eyes and minds of New America.
The audience for this contemporary art, it is something they feel as a part of them. This is something they feel good about that. It is so when they buy this work and they put it in their home and looking at this every day, it's almost like having another person living in the house. It is the cultural exposure they never had before. This is something, if they don't like it, they cannot put it on their wall. This is more than just a decoration.
Bay focuses on a relatively small group of talented artists this month, Kwangjin Park.
Her aesthetics, her work is not traditional. It's not anything symbolic. This is very contemporary and very universal. So this is the artwork not only appeals to Korean people, it is appeals from the people from any culture.
Park incorporates heaven and earth, light and dark as metaphors of the yin-yang concept.
And those are the kind of work I am interested in. Those are the work that I want to introduce to the people. But you will feel that it is a very strong Asian aesthetic to it.
Visitors to the gallery will experience Bay's carefully selected works for their originality and distinct aesthetics. Thank you for choosing AAN News, your Asian news leader. Catch our rebroadcast Tuesday mornings at 8 and tune in next Monday night to get a glimpse of some Christmas trees from around the world. If you have any news ideas for AAN or would like more information about any of our stories, write us at AAN41Chicago@AOL.com. I'm Lily Kim. Thank you and see you next time.